A lantern city glows under a dry sky that has forgotten how to rain.
Its rooftops of warm clay and faded gold stretch into the dusty night. Copper gutters wait empty and dry, year after year, hoping for water. On that night, the dark clouds open above the city for a single hour. Families eagerly place bowls, jars, and silver basins out in the streets. Elio watches the preparations from the high window of his attic room.
Elio has always liked the gentle rain more than talking to people.
Elio secretly keeps old water droplets preserved inside glass beads by his bed.
Are you going to sit here and miss the entire festival tonight, Elio? Neri says Elio looks like a boy preparing to miss his own festival. I am not missing it. I am just watching the sky think. Neri rolls her bright eyes and smiles, setting her lantern on his desk.
Below them in the square, Keipa Maun tests the rain tower chimes. Each heavy brass chime measures the moisture of the coming autumn storm.
The busy townspeople begin hanging glowing blue lanterns in the narrow alleys.
Excited children splash in the dry stone fountains, pretending there is water.
Elio gently touches a dry silver bowl, imagining the sound of rain.
Elio deeply wants the festival rain to stay longer than it does.
Night falls heavily as the clouds gather in thick, heavy silver folds. The very first cold raindrop strikes the brass bell of the tower. A joyful cheer rises from the excited crowd gathered through the city. Rain spills beautifully across the warm clay rooftops and glowing lantern strings. Elio closes his eyes, letting the cool draps hit his face. The entire stone city shines with beautiful reflected gold and blue light.
Neri dances barefoot through the wet square, splashing water in the air.
Elio laughs quietly from the doorway, watching his energetic friend dance happily.
Suddenly, Elio notices one unusually bright, glowing raindrop hovering on his sleeve. The magical water droplet does not fall to the ground like others.
Instead, the special drop glows softly, looking exactly like trapped moonlight. Elio gently cups his hands, letting the warm, glowing drop sit. Before his eyes, the drop transforms into a small, living rain bead. Elio knows he should release the precious water into the silver basin. Instead, Elio secretly slips the glowing bead deep into his coat pocket. The heavy rain falling around him suddenly sounds deeper and more intimate.
Far above them in the sky, one cloud flickers quite strangely.
Elio tells absolutely no one about the magical droplet in his coat.
Elio carefully carries the warm, hidden drop back to his room.
Safe inside his quiet bedroom, Elio slowly opens his dark pocket.
The little raindrop has grown into a beautiful, miniature floating rain cloud.
Inside the tiny dark cloud, beautiful silver sparks of lightning flash.
The miniature cloud rains softly, pouring water only onto Elio's palm.
You are a tiny storm, aren't you? A secret little storm.
The tiny storm spins happily, humming a soft and watery melody.
Suddenly, a tiny, translucent creature tumbles playfully out of the cloud.
Drizzle lands on the wooden table, shaking off tiny, shining droplets.
The creature looks exactly like a delicate water glass sparrow made of rain.
Elio laughs softly, gently poking the playful creature with his finger.
The little cloud reacts instantly to the soft sound of his voice.
It swells slightly larger and rains harder for one quick second. Then, the miniature storm settles down again, hovering peacefully above table. Elio suddenly realizes that the magical storm responds directly to feelings.
Elio thinks of all the quiet, lonely nights he wanted rain.
Responding to his melancholy, the miniature cloud grows a little larger. Drizzle chirps nervously, hopping backward on the wooden table away from the cloud.
Do not worry, little ones. I promise I will keep you safe.
The young boy does not realize that keeping is the actual problem. Outside his window, the city's festive rain suddenly ends too early.
Our sacred rain tower has measured a missing portion of last night's storm.
The gathered townspeople murmur uneasily, looking at each other with worry.
Without the full rain, the city's water cistern levels will stay low.
Elio quickly avoids Neri's curious eyes, pulling his warm coat tight.
At school, his heavy wet pocket begins dripping water onto floor. Small, glowing puddles quickly form on the floor beneath Elio's desk.
Neri notices the water immediately, staring intensely at Elio's pale face. Neri quietly follows him after class, stepping softly through empty corridors.
Elio secretly shows Neri the growing pocket storm inside an abandoned greenhouse.
Neri is completely amazed and speechless for exactly 3 seconds.
This is beautiful, Elio, but you cannot keep part of the city's rain. It is different now, Neri. It does not belong to the tower.
Look at how it behaves around me. I know it chose me.
Storms do not choose people, Elio. They just gather and fall.
As the two friends argue, the tiny pocket cloud grows darker.
A low, miniature crack of thunder rumbles angrily inside the greenhouse.
The glass panes of the greenhouse quickly fog over with condensation.
Dry potted plants slowly bend under the weight of sudden moisture.
Drizzle tries hard to calm the cloud by circling it quickly. The magical creature's efforts work only a little, and the storm quietens. That evening, a localized rain begins falling over one narrow street.
Only that specific street experiences rain, while the rest remains dry.
Elsewhere in the dry city, the air remains completely dry tonight. Confused townspeople look up at the single wet cloud in bewilderment.
The strange patch of rain slowly follows Elio's route back home.
Watching from a distance, Neri suddenly realizes the storm is tethered.
Keeper Mound notices glowing, wet footprints leading down a dry street. Keeper Mound studies the dark sky and then studies Elio thoughtfully.
At home, Elio quietly remembers his late mother's beautiful rain songs. Elio misses his mother sharply, a deep sadness filling his heart. The pocket storm instantly responds, deepening into a dark gray-blue color. A sharp crack of miniature thunder violently shakes his bedroom shutters.
Icy water spills rapidly from his coat pocket, flooding the floorboards.
Drizzle whimpers and quickly hides under a small chair in corner. Elio finally understands that the growing storm is drinking his sadness.
The more Elio desperately keeps the storm, the heavier it becomes.
We must go to Keeper Mound now, Elio. This is dangerous. No, Neri. I cannot bear to lose the only beautiful thing. If you keep it, everyone else in this city will lose.
Outside, the glowing city lamps flicker weakly in the growing puddles.
Keeper Mound leads Elio and Neri up the rain tower before dawn. The copper weather vanes groan loudly against the rising cold wind.
The missing portion of storm churns violently inside Elio's trembling hands.
Weather must move freely, Elio, or it becomes trapped dark grief.
If I let it go, will the storm disappear from me?
No true rain is ever owned, Elio. It can only return.
Drizzle circles the massive brass tower bell, glowing brighter than ever.
The heavy pocket storm pulls strongly upward, yearning toward open sky.
Elio fights the powerful, desperate urge to hold on to storm tighter.
Trust me, Elio. Letting go is not the same as losing.
The magical cloud swells instantly to the size of a room.
It begins raining warm, silver tears over the tower's stone floor.
Keeper Mound steps forward and opens the copper weather gate wide. The cold, wild wind roars into the tower, whipping their dark clothes.
Elio slowly opens his small palm, finally releasing his tight grip.
The dark, heavy storm rises shakily into the cold air above.
For a brief moment, the storm hovers beautifully between boy and sky.
Drizzle sings one last, beautiful, tiny rain note in the air. The massive storm answers with a gentle rumble of soft thunder. Then, the beautiful storm returns happily upward, disappearing into the clouds.
A full, incredibly soft rain spreads over the entire Lantern City.
This time, the magical rain falls evenly on every clay roof.
Happy children laugh and splash joyfully in real puddles on streets.
Neri stands quietly beside Elio under the sheltering tower stone arch. Elio cries quietly, but his tears are no longer from panic.
Some of the most beautiful things in life will surely die when hidden. Others can only survive and flourish by being openly shared with the world.
Elio lifts his face to the storm, letting it belong to sky.